welcome back to my channel. This is Zoe and I'm here again with another video. And today's video actually was meant to be up a while ago, but our next door neighbors have been having construction going on, and so it's been quite noisy. So I have been waiting for this weekend where I just get the opportunity to just do this video once and for all and have it out for you guys. So today's video is just going to be about goals, resolutions for 2019. This year I am looking at personal development. It's something that I feel I need to do during the course of this year, and I just want to share with you guys so you can also be inspired, so you can also be encouraged to take on what I'm going to be taking on this year, which is personal development. And so I'm going to share with you guys just a few goals, resolutions, things that you can try and implement into your life, and for you to be a better person in 2019. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is building on your spiritual capacity. This basically entails developing a personal relationship with God. For me, guys, everything that I've ever been able to achieve in my life, I attribute it all to God. It's all been God and God and God. And I just feel like, guys, it's something that is so important that we need to take seriously this coming year. So yeah, guys, let us do the most. Let us develop personal relationships with God. If you don't go to a church, look for a church, go somewhere, commune with God, commune with other people. And as we speak about the things that I'm going to be speaking about as this video goes on, you will see just why I am talking about this whole developing a personal relationship with God and building on our spiritual capacity. So that's one. The next thing that we're going to be looking at, guys, is building on your knowledge. So building on your knowledge basically entails reading motivational books. Read something inspirational. Read something that will change your life. Like they say, knowledge is power, right? And so for me, this year, I'm realizing that, guys, it is just super important for us to build on, just our intellectual capacity somehow. Read something that will inspire you, read something that will motivate you. These days there's so many books that are coming out. I know one of the latest ones right now is Michelle Obama's Becoming, and it's such an amazing book. I actually started reading it. I'm not much of a bookworm, but I'm challenging myself to read this year, and I just wanted to share with you guys this book that I have here. It's called More to Your Story by Max Lucado. Discover Your Place in God's Plan. So this book, guys, my dad got it for me last year, and I didn't read it because I don't know, y'all, like the course was just chowing nearby school, and I was just like, I don't have time to read. But I realized that everything has to move in a mutually inclusive way. Like things can run parallel to each other. You don't have to completely focus on something else and leave something else. So and I just want to read this paragraph right here. It says, above and around us, God directs a grand saga, written by his hand, orchestrated by his will, unveiled according to his calendar. When you're part of his master story, your life has a purpose. You will recognize your value and you will discover your unique path. Guys, I'm super excited. I am actually about to start chapter 5 of this book, and so far it's been so amazing, guys. So you don't necessarily have to read this book, but just find something. And sometimes, right, I know it's sometimes very difficult to open your Bible and be like, okay, let me read. Where do you read? Where do you start? But reading spiritual books like these helps you to have, because they give spiritual references, Bible references and stuff like that, and it helps you somehow to be able to open your Bible and actually read something. So it's important, guys, for us to know that in 2019 we want to build and just grow, grow, guys. And yeah, let's make it happen by reading an inspirational book. So the next thing we're going to be looking at, guys, is professional and career development. Like for me, guys, this is something that I think at this point I'm super passionate about. I'm currently studying accounting, and I'm going to be getting into my second year of university this year. Super excited. I can't believe just how passionate I've become about what I'm studying. It's just amazing. It's intriguing, and so I just want to encourage you guys, in 2019, let us do something that will advance us professionally and career-wise. do something, whatever, you know, it could be furthering your studies somehow for you to become more marketable. Do it. Do something to develop your career. And so I think also adding on to this point on professional and career development, I had a friend of mine, he was studying, sorry, so I then got into contact with him and I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing though? And he's like, oh, I'm actually studying sports management. I'm like, wow, that's actually really good. So he's not going there to only do something to do with sports. Like, he's not only going there to be a footballer or, you know, to enhance his skills in doing that, but he's actually studying something that will allow him to get into different sectors, you know, and still be able to have a professional life and a career, but it's still based on what he loves. It's still based on what he's passionate about. So that's something that's important, guys. Like, in 2019, develop your career, you know, do something that will make you move forward in the professional world. So guys, the next thing we want to talk about is mentors and coaches. Like, I know that people like to be awesome. Girl, let's confuse the enemy. Like, why are we telling other people our dreams? Why are we telling them our aspirations? Why are we telling them like what we want to do, you know, like, you know. But guys, it is important for us to get mentors and coaches in 2019. Like, I feel like for me, on a personal level, our church, the church that I attend here in Botswana, it's actually called AKO Church of Accountants because we have so many accountants. And the men and women there are super inspirational, super motivational. And you know, having a mentor, having a coach who's in the line or in the field that you want to get into is very important, because they get to teach you the tricks, the trades. They get to tell you what to expect, what not to expect. They get to just give you the 411 of everything that entails being an accountant. Like, for me, I've noticed, like, realized that there's so many things that I didn't know about this profession that I'm getting into. But either way, I'm still very excited about it, and I believe that, you know, mingling with those people has really helped me to develop a broader understanding of, you know, what I'm getting myself. Yeah, guys, it is very important for us to get mentors and coaches in 2019. Like, let's do this. So the next thing we're going to talk about, guys, is additional relevant skills to enhance your ability. So one of the things that my mom has always taught me has been using your hands. This is something that is super important, guys. Like, you know, there are so many times where you find graduates, right? They've graduated, and of course the next thing is getting a job. But what if you're not able to get the job immediately? You've got to still be able to make a living, and that is by using your hands. So guys, in 2019, I'm encouraging you guys to find something to do with your hands. Find something that interests you. You know, like my mom actually has got such a wonderful story. She just woke up one morning and she's like, yo, I'm making clothes. I'm like, girl, making clothes from where? Where did you learn? How are you gonna do it? And so it turns out she was taught how to sew back in the day by her mother. And you know, she actually has her mother's sewing machine. And so that morning she was just like, you know what, I can't let the stuff that my mother taught me to go to waste, and I'm going to go and get another machine, you know, to work hand in hand with this one and make clothes today. And I'm just like, wow, mother. You know, but she was so determined, guys, and today she makes such amazing clothes. Like, yo, guys, it's so nice to have a tailor in the house, because, you know, you don't pay nothing. You know, so yeah. But guys, it's mind-blowing, guys, how one person can just wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And mind you, she hadn't been sewing clothes for over 10 years, ever since, overnight, 20 years actually, or whatever. She had not been making clothes or any of that since she was very young, but somehow she regained that ability in her hands. And so this year for me, guys, I am going to try and make sure that I get lessons on sewing, because also for me, that's a passion for me. And yeah, guys, so just learn how to use your hands somehow. You know, someone was telling me about a mechanic that they know who is, they literally call him for everything, but this guy didn't go to school for these things. He just found an interest and he worked on that, and now he's able to use his hands without a degree, but honey, he's making money. So guys, it is important for you in 2019, let us find what to do with these 10 fingers that God gave us, put them to use, and let's make some cash funds. So yeah, so the next thing, guys, that we're going to be talking about is just networking. And this goes hand in hand with what I was talking about when I talked about mentors and coaches. Mentors and coaches will be the ones to really set up those opportunities for you to network with people who are in the fields that you want to get into. So yeah, guys, like if you're an introvert, I'm not saying change that, but try and find a way in which you can be able to mingle with other people and get to know other people's stories and stuff. I've got a friend of mine, she actually gave my sister a ring the other day and just said, you know what, I want you to come and meet this lawyer that I met at a networking event that I was at, and I want you to just come and, you know, speak to her. So I got her number, whatever, you know, just come speak to her. You know, she's very inspirational. She's also a Zimbabwean student, you know, who's made it out of her country and stuff like that. And you can just imagine, guys. So in 2019, guys, try by all means to attend as much networking events that you can, and the best people to set up such events for you is your mentors and coaches. So yeah, guys, and the last thing we're just going to talk about is your relationships with people. This is something that I feel like is very, very important for me, especially this year, because generally I'm a person who gets very attached to people. Like, I get attached, guys, attached to people. Like, if you're telling me today that you're moving to another country, I will be sitting here in my room just bawling and just crying and just like eating a tub of ice cream because I'm so devastated you're gone. But anyway, that's almost not besides the point. But really, generally, guys, in 2019, work on your relationships. If it means having to cut off certain people, cut off certain people. Like anything that brings a negative of a vibe, guys, you need to cut those people off. And that's why I actually brought up the fact that for me, I get really attached to people, and so it makes it very difficult for me to cut off people that I feel like I don't need in my life. But in 2019, guys, it is important that we do that. Like, for us to be able to move forward, for us to just be in a healthy environment, we need to keep ourselves in an environment where, you know, we relate with people who encourage us somehow, people who motivate us somehow, people who bring out the best in us. If there are people around you, guys, that don't bring those kind of positive energies, or whatever the case may be, chop them off. Like, there is no point. And so for me, it's a resolution for me, it's a challenge for me, you know, and I'm just going to be working on it, guys, because at the end of the day, like, I need to grow as a person. What are we talking about? We're talking about personal development. And so yeah, guys, it's going to be very important that in 2019 you do the most for your relationships. If there are relationships that you feel like these are very important to me, these are relationships that, you know, keep you going, and whatever the case may be, work on them. Work on the ones that are not high maintenance. Like, we always talk to my dad and we're just like, yo, guys, some relationships and friendships in a life are just high maintenance, guys. Like, yo. And for me in 2019, I don't want relationships like that. I don't want to drain myself, you know, just too much. I'm generally a person who's very loving and caring, and I will work on those relationships that I feel like have potential. But as for those that don't have a potential in a life, later with you. So yeah, guys, so that is the end of my video. I just wanted to just give this, you know, brief summarized version of the things that I'm going to be looking at in 2019, and I hope you guys are encouraged. I hope you guys are inspired, and you don't necessarily have to take up everything that I've said, but you can just pick up on a few things that you feel like, you know what, I can definitely work on this. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to give yourself too much of a tall order. You don't want to give yourself too much to work on. And I think that's why people have started to be like, you know what, 2019, me, I'm just gonna wing it, because this whole resolution thing's nah. Resolutions still give you some sense of direction in life, but don't make them too big, or not too big. No, you can make them big, honey, but make them something that's realistic. Write down realistic goals. Don't give yourself goals that are like a bit hard to achieve, you know. And one thing I've found about resolutions is that some of them might not come to pass, or some of them you might not be successful in them in the year that you're in, but the fact that you've given yourself to achieving that thing, you can still achieve it in the next few coming years. So yeah guys, that's why for me, I just feel like in this year, I feel like for me to be able to move forward and to be able to achieve so much more, I need to work on myself and build on certain things that I feel like are very important for me to build. So yeah guys, finally, this is the end of my video, and I hope you guys feel encouraged, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.